Here I am, yet again, with another piece purloined from the shouts and murmur section of The New Yorker. But this time the take is a bit different. Judy Flum and I have dramatized a humor piece written by Simon Rich, which appeared in the January 9th and 16th, 2023 issue, titled Punishment. It is performed by Judy and yours truly, and at that, we will leave the rest for you to discover and hopefully enjoy. Thanks for listening.
And so the Lord created two humans in his image, called Adam and Eve, and he put them in the Garden of Eden and provided them with everything they could want. And all he asked in return, that they not eat from the tree of knowledge. But lo, it came to pass that they did eat from this tree. And when the Lord saw that they had disobeyed him, he was filled with wrath. And so he said to Eve, "Because you have done this, I will make your labor pains severe, and you will suffer greatly during childbirth." And to Adam he said, "From this day forth you will work by the sweat of your brow in the fields, and indeed you shall die there. For you are made of dust, and to dust you shall return." And he banished Adam and Eve, and brought forth his angel to guard the garden with a flaming, whirling sword for all eternity. And when Adam and Eve were out of earshot, the Lord turned to his angel.
Was that too harsh?
Yeah, probably. They ate one piece of fruit.
Well, why didn't you stop me?
We're supposed to be a united front. If we contradict each other, it'll just make them confused. And what was with that dust thing?
I don't know. I knew it was crazy even while I was saying it, but I couldn't stop myself. It was just like out of nowhere I heard my dad's voice coming out of my mouth.
Well, I guess we should go talk to them.
What do you mean?
You know, tell them we changed our minds about the punishment.
No, we've got to follow through. Otherwise, they'll never take anything we say seriously again. Here's the sword. I'll set it on fire, and you start whirling it.
I really don't think we're going about this right.
Just let me handle the discipline, okay? I know what I'm doing. And so the Lord stuck to the banishment thing. But despite the harsh punishment, the humans continued to sin. And one day, the angel showed the Lord a note from the school. Fuck, this is some major shit.
Yeah, they're starting to have some real behavioral problems. We should go talk to a psychologist and get some advice on what to do.
There's only one thing we can do. Bring the hammer down.
What? Why?
Because we set a precedent with the fucking fruit thing. If we don't punish them at least that much for this new stuff, they're going to think that sodomy and murder aren't as bad as, like, sharing the bite of an apple.
I've actually been reading a lot about this lately, and most experts agree that punishments are counterproductive.
So what are we supposed to do? Just let them do whatever they want and become drug addicts?
I'm obviously not saying I want them to become drug addicts. Oh, this is why we should have signed up for that class.
That class was bullshit.
How would you know? You refused to even read the description on the website.
It was held in the basement of a toy store. It was obviously just a scam to sell us toys.
And that was how the conversation ended, without any resolution about the whole discipline thing. And so the Lord punished the humans more and more, with floods and plagues and entire centuries without any television. And he kept giving them new rules, some of which made sense, but some of which were arbitrary, like don't mix milk and meat, which was something he just blurted out one morning when he was half asleep, but now felt obliged to stick to. And it got to the point where he could barely even keep track of the rules that he had made, or what the penalties were for breaking them. And so the humans were punished inconsistently in ways that had more to do with his frustration level than with any kind of actual philosophy or game plan. Like, sometimes the humans would have punishments heaped upon them for basically no reason. And sometimes they do something truly messed up and get no punishment at all, or even be rewarded with political office.
So, what happened to being consistent?
And the Lord would tell her some bullshit about how it was a test. But really, it was just that he was overwhelmed and exhausted, and also privately kind of stressed out about money. And so it came to pass that there was basically zero continuity. And one day, in desperation, the Lord suggested,
Why don't we pick the 10 main rules and engrave them on a pair of tablets?
A, they're never going to follow that, and B, it's completely unenforceable. Like the only way to police it would be to watch them around the clock, which would be more of a punishment for us than for them.
Oh, Angel, you're right. That tablet thing was crazy. I only suggested it because I was so beat down and broken and stressed out about money that I didn't know what the fuck to do anymore about anything.
What is going on with you? You can tell me.
Angel, my secret fear is I feel like the humans are becoming bad people, and it's all because of me.
Oh, Lord, that isn't true.
So you think the humans are turning out all right?
No, they obviously have some real issues, but I don't think it's all because of you.
Everything's all because of me. I'm omnipotent.
I think maybe when it comes to creating humans, no one is. Oh, sure, you could guide them a little here and there. And obviously it's possible to really fuck them up. Like that's been proven with those Romanian orphanage studies. But in general, you can't control what kind of people they become. No matter what you do, they just end up turning into themselves.
and as her point was sinking in, the Lord looked down and saw that the humans had started a new war, and he was going to do what he normally did, punish all involved, whether they'd started it or not. But instead, he turned to the angel.
Maybe we should go out tonight.
What about this flaming sword? I've been whirling it around this whole time.
Oh, I'm sorry I made you do that. You can put it down. That was just me being nuts.
And so they dressed up and went out for the first time in eternity. And they ordered drinks and appetizers and the whole thing. And they talked about fun subjects that they couldn't discuss when the humans were around, like whether or not heaven was real, and how the secret numerical code in the Bible really worked. And they had so much fun that it felt like they were back at the beginning, before they had any humans or even any animals. And it was just the two of them, floating around the sun and moon and stars.
And it came to pass that spending some time away from the humans made them feel better about them. And the Lord quoted some of the cute things he'd overheard them saying lately, like,
I have a plan for my future, and here is the forecast for tomorrow's weather.
and I showed the Lord photos of some of the cute crap the humans had made recently, like forts and towers and cities. And even though the Lord knew it was going to be a pain in the ass to clean it all up, and that the humans would probably cry when he knocked it all down, he had to admit it was adorable.
And they stayed out so late that they lost track of time. And their babysitter, Satan, texted them saying the next hour would be $40, because after 10 p.m., it's counted as overtime.
Maybe we should just find a different sitter.
Oh, there's no one else. I've checked.
I'm so grateful that we're doing this crazy thing together. Because even though it was a shit show, there is no one in the universe I'd rather create humans with.
Do you ever think of creating more?
No fucking way. I mean, where would we even put them?
We could add another continent. Or if that's too expensive, put up drywall.
You're nuts. If we add more humans, we'll never get a handle on things.
Yeah, but maybe they will.
And the Lord was taken aback, because he'd never considered the possibility that someday the humans would know things that he didn't, fix problems that he couldn't, make new things that he wouldn't. He was trying to mold them in his image, but maybe they would never be.
Maybe instead, they'd be better.